On the coast of Maine, where the fog rolls in slow over the harbor, there lived a fisherman named Daniel. Every morning before sunrise, he pulled on his boots, kissed his wife Grace on the forehead, and headed down to the dock, where his boat, the Patience, waited quietly in the dark water. They had a good life. Not rich, not easy, but good. A small house with a leaky roof, a daughter 6 years old who loved to draw fish with crayons, and Grace, steady, kind, the sort of woman who made a house feel like home just by being in it.
But Daniel had a habit he couldn't shake. Nothing was ever quite right. The coffee, too weak. The house, too cluttered. Grace, too quiet, or too talkative, depending on the day. Small complaints at first, then sharper ones. Then arguments that echoed down the hallway and made their daughter cover her ears. One night, after a fight over something neither of them would later remember, Daniel said words he couldn't take back. Grace packed a bag, took their daughter, and drove to her parents' house 2 towns over. She didn't come back.
Daniel, wounded and proud, told himself he didn't need her. Within the year, he married again, a woman named Diane, who had seemed easy and light during their courtship. But marriage has a way of showing you who a person really is. So this struggle, the legal costs of the divorce drained his savings. He took out a loan just to keep his boat. Then the fishing grounds turned bad that season. Warmer waters, fewer catches, and he lost his job at the co-op. Diane, it turned out, had no patience for hard times. The arguments in his new house sounded exactly like the ones in his old one. Except now, there was no love underneath them to soften the blow. One evening, sitting alone on the dock, Daniel found an old photograph in his coat pocket. Grace, laughing, holding their daughter on this very boat, sunlight bouncing off the water behind them. He didn't remember putting it there. He just knew. He couldn't stop looking at it. He thought about all the mornings he'd complained instead of said thank you. All the small moments he'd let slip by, chasing some idea of a better life, instead of noticing the good one already in his hands. He couldn't undo it. Grace had moved on, rebuilding a quieter life for herself and their daughter. The house, the family dinners, the years, those were gone. But Daniel changed anyway. He started showing up at the docks early, not to fish, but to talk to the younger men just starting out, the ones getting married, the ones fighting with their wives over nothing the way he once had. He didn't lecture them, he just told them the truth. I had everything, he'd say, and I traded it for being right in an argument that didn't matter. Some of them listened, a few didn't, but a couple of young fishermen, years later, would say that Daniel's words were the reason they turned their trucks around instead of driving off angry. Daniel never got his first family back, but he found a kind of peace in making sure other men didn't make his mistake. And some nights, watching the sun go down over the water, he'd smile, a quiet, tired smile, grateful at least for the lesson, even if it cost him everything to learn it.
Life lesson. Impatience doesn't just end an argument, it can end a life you spent years building. Think before you act, because some doors, once closed, don't open again. You can rebuild a boat, you can rebuild a business, but some things, once you let them go, you only get to keep in photographs. Have you ever said something in anger that you wish, even now, you could take back?